Wednesday, August 7th, 2019, 11:48 a.m. We got a serious thing to cover here today, a serious topic, and that is the massive changes that are about to take place. I think, this is my prediction, people are going to move, they're going to leave, a lot of people are going to quit jobs that they hate, and more importantly, almost more importantly, I don't know if it is more important or not, but a lot of people are going to flat out leave relationships. A lot of women that are victimized, living in abusive relationships because they're financially dependent on Mr. Abusive Asshole for survival. You're going to see a lot of women just up and leave. You're going to see a lot of people just leave the state that they're in, travel somewhere else. That's my prediction, and when that happens, what's happening right now in the world is we're having a lot of earthquakes and a lot of natural disasters, and yeah, that has to do with climate change and geoengineering and all that, but it also is brought on by people's very minds, by their brains. Their minds, human minds, are causing natural disasters. They're causing earthquakes, they're causing storms, they're causing sunspots. There's it is science, but it's coming from people's minds, and I don't know if they'll be able to prove that in like a million years or not, but I'm telling you, that's what's happening. And right now there's a lot of earthquakes happening, there's a lot of fires, there's a lot of things like that. That's because people don't have money and they're being abused in their situations for financial survival. Now what's going to happen is, once this freedom dividend comes in, those people are going to feel freer and happier. They're going to want to live. They're going to be wanting to celebrate life. And they're going to stop sending out shockwaves of destructive energy. However, you're going to have a lot of entitled, selfish people that are control freaks who have made a lot of extra money themselves, or who are just inherited money, or who are, selfish or whatever, that have their claws wrapped around whoever their lover is for financial support. And when these people leave, these self-entitled, narcissistic, selfish, abusive assholes are going to send out a little discharge of energy of their own. Just a little warning there. So it's not going to be absolutely 100% perfect. That's just probably going to happen. But it's going to happen anyway under this situation. So that's an interesting thing. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to feel like heartbroken, scorned. Some relationships are abusive, and some of them actually aren't. Some of the people that are in these relationships, the people with the financial, independence, the people with the financial advantage, aren't actually abusive. They're actually not bad people at all. But their partners do not want to be with them, and that is across the board all over the place. It's a step in the right direction for sure, but just brace yourself. There's going to be a lot of people, as soon as that freedom dividend comes in, there's going to be a lot of people, women especially, that are just going to be like, woohoo, fuck this, I'm out of here, sorry. I'm not attracted to you, I do not like this job, I do not like this situation, I hate it, I've wanted out for years. There's a lot of women out there that foolishly had children. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. They had children, they got pregnant, they had babies, and they're so freaking frightened for their child's well-being that they'll put up with an abusive husband that hits them, or just a husband or a man that they just don't want to be with, but they're doing it because they want the money. And it shouldn't be that way. They don't want the money, they need the money for their children, and it should not be that way. So just brace yourselves, These earthquakes, these cataclysms, these natural disasters, these sunspots, these gamma ray bursts, even gamma ray bursts coming in from across the universe. Now here's a head trip for you, okay? A lot of this can actually happen because the human mind has the ability to travel through time. These gamma ray bursts, like we just recently had a neutron star that hit the Earth from a Crab Nebula. It was something like 100,000 electron volts or something, or 100 electron volts. I don't know how much it was, but it made everyone really pissed off. We had a bunch of shootings all at once. I believe that was very much related to both the sunspots as well as the neutron star that's hitting the Earth. Pastor Paul Begley, and Mike from Around the World talk about all the time the 5 waves of energy. 5 waves of energy. Well, that stuff, some of it is actually manifested by human minds. I'm telling you. What happened the day after that they drilled the oil rig? We had the Carrington event, the first time they drilled the oil rig. Why did we have the Carrington event then? Because there were many natives in this country who were severely enraged and pissed off. They felt a severe injustice, and they blasted the world with energy, literally with their minds. They reached out to the universe, they collectively pulled on the sun, and we had the Carrington event, and it blasted the fuck out of planet Earth. So people are doing that stuff all the time, and if you get enough people with enough passion who really strongly feel enough of an injustice, a genuine injustice, then they'll be able to do something like that. It's psychokinetic manifestation. So how do you make a neutron star blast at the right time? You send your energy back in time. You travel through time itself. You send this burst of energy all the way to the other side of the universe, however many light years away, to the other side of the galaxy, and you activate something to happen. You manifest this, and enough people do that, and they do it to set up on schedule for it to hit at the right time. It's unconscious. I'd say about, at this point in history, 85 to 90% of people, maybe less than maybe 75, don't actually know they're doing it. They're not aware, but they are doing it. And I have a theory. I think that's partially what CERN is actually about. And I'm sure that the world governments have some kind of, excuse me, technology in place that's supposed to try to stifle the human ability to manipulate the natural environment, but really nothing in the end, nothing trumps nature, and human minds are a product of nature. They're a product of biological evolution. They're made out of stardust. So you can try to suppress that shit all you want, but I know that they know, these governments, these scientists, they know they have to be careful how much they use that kind of technology. Directed energy weaponry, for example, any kind of electronic energy technology that they're using to affect people's minds or whatever, they have to use it sparingly. They can't just go around zapping people left and right. There's probably some, evil corporations, private organizations with supervillains that have elite henchmen in, a hollowed-out mountain somewhere, and they just do whatever the hell they want because they don't know any better, and then they get shut down by a superhero somewhere, like Harry Tipper. Excuse me. My allergies, it's disgusting. Sorry. So anyway, sometimes they do that, but those kind of organizations are often shorter lived. And the people with that kind of powerful technology, they realize that there definitely is some kind of karma involved. And what happens is, if you overuse that technology and you either attack too many people at once or you overpower them, those people will actually hyper-evolve. They'll have a rapid evolution, and they will actually become stronger than the technology they're using, and their minds will blast back. I've seen it happen. There's a lot of old souls who are spiritually evolved, and when they get attacked with this directed energy weaponry, that radiation, the microwaves, they actually can send out a force field. I believe George Norrie is one of them. I also believe Hillary Clinton is one of them. They will send out a shockwave force field of energy that will actually, just flat out destroy the equipment that's being used to blast these people. So they know they have to be careful. They can't just go out and just do it. Anyway, more on this later. Okay, Wednesday, August 7th, 2019, 4:13 p.m. Murder drones coming out. At some point, it's going to happen. You're going to have murder drone attacks. You guys are so worried about guns. You're worried about humans carrying guns around. Well, I bet you, by the 2030s, there's going to be drone attacks, and it's going to be tribal warfare. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there. We still got to cover the real news of what's going on. I see that happening. I'm just saying, I'm not going to share that with anybody right now. I'm not trying to spread that around, but I'm just documenting it. It's going to happen. You watch. Flying drones with laser guns attached. Lasers are kind of iffy right now, you would say, because they overheat or whatever. I think they overheat. Or they blind you if they're too fucking bright, so anybody using a laser is going to have to be wearing a stormtrooper helmet. Star Wars ain't realistic with those kind of lasers, because as soon as you fire a blaster, if you don't have on some kind of bending mask, or welding mask? Bending. What the? Welding mask. If you don't have on a welding mask, blocks out all that extra light, well, you know, you're gonna go blind or get eye damage, according to what I've read. Maybe that's not true. Maybe that, I was watching a YouTube video where this guy was saying you have to wear a mask just to use these lasers that are actually illegal. He purchased them off the dark web or something, but they're actually technically illegal, but they just listed them a lot lower than they actually are. And that video got about 1 million views on YouTube from what I saw. So there it is. And I don't know how much of it is true. I was questioning, is this really true? Is any of this true, or did you just make this shit up for this video? You know, everyone has After Effects in their computer. Couldn't you simulate lasers doing stuff? I think it's real. They actually really have these lasers that they can melt plastic, right? And they're considered a hazard. It's an interesting video. You can see it on, I think it was in 2013, or it might have been 2011. I have to look this up when they had these riots in Tehran, in Egypt. And like 1,000 people or 100 people were pointing laser dots at this chopper. There was a black chopper, an authority vehicle, hovering over this crowd of people, and they were like, fuck you. Everybody was like, fuck you. And they just blasted it with lasers. It was fucking illegal, and it's a hazard, and they could blind the pilot, but that's how fucking raging pissed those people were. They were like, alright, fuck you, basically. You know, we should have given lasers to the fucking Native Americans.